Comments for the week ending March 26th from the Beef Farmers of Ontario. There were 566 head of fed steers and heifers sold through auction markets last week, up 130 head from the previous week. Fed steers averaged $321.28 per hundredweight, up $441 per hundred, and fed heifers averaged $320.17 per hundredweight, up $476 per hundred from the previous week's trade. Auction markets reported on Tuesday fed steers and heifers sold steady to stronger. In Ontario, dress trade was reported at $5.30 per hundredweight delivered, $5 per hundredweight higher than the previous week. Cattle were being booked for the week of March 30th delivery. For the week ending March 14th, Eastern fed cattle and cow exports to the U.S. were 3,361 head, 11% below last year and 12% above the 5-year average. Year-to-date, Eastern fed cattle and cow exports were steady with last year. Cull cow receipts sold through auction markets last week were 2,076 head, up 267 head from the previous week. Cows averaged 200.72 per hundredweight, up 689 per hundred. Beef cows averaged 209.47 per hundredweight, up 107 per hundredweight from the previous week's trade. Auction markets reported on Tuesday that fed cows sold on a good demand, $3 to $4 per hundredweight higher. By Thursday, fed cows continued to sell at strong prices. Total receipts were 8,288 head last week, with receipts of 3,916 stock and feeder cattle selling through Ontario auction markets, down 349 head from the previous week. Auction markets were on Friday, March 20th. The calves and yearlings sold on a steady to stronger market. By Thursday, stockers sold actively on a stronger market. The Quebec electronic market prices were not available at press time. Last week, Alberta fed steer and heifer prices closed the week at $3.23 and $3.20 per hundredweight respectively, $1 to $3 per hundredweight stronger than the previous week. Dress sales were reported at $5.40 per hundredweight delivered. Cattle that traded were scheduled for early April delivery. Over the past 2 weeks, Alberta fed prices have been trading at par or to a slight premium against the Nebraska market. For the middle of March, this is the second strongest basis on record, with only 2021 being stronger. By Wednesday, March 25th, light trade developed, with dress sales reported at $5.40 per hundredweight delivered, fully steady with the previous week. For the week ending March 21st, Western Canadian fed processing was 42,320 head. Year-to-date processing is 7% higher than last year. The U.S. cash cattle trade last week saw most of the trade take place on Thursday and Friday. Dressed sales in Iowa and Nebraska were from $3.70 to $3.72 per hundredweight, steady to $2 per hundredweight lower than the previous week. Live sales in the north were at $2.35 per hundredweight, fully steady. On Friday, sales in Texas and Kansas started out at $2.35 per hundredweight. By Friday afternoon, cattle were trading at $2.38 per hundredweight. Live sales in the south were trading steady to $2 per hundredweight higher. The June live cattle contract is trading a couple of hundred points higher today. The June live cattle contract is within 300 points of their highs set back in mid-October. This is Jamie Kerr with the Beef Farmers of Ontario Market Information Report.